The problem is that we're losing the climate stability which our species has grown up with. That's why it's called climate change. And we're seeing it more or less daily on our television screens with the more extreme weather events happening around the world. Climate scientists are absolutely convinced that the main cause of the extremity of these events is the rising concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the most important of which is carbon dioxide, which is emitted in very large quantities by humanity's continuing use of fossil fuels. So if there is a problem, that is it. That is the root cause of it. And in order to address the problem, we need to move away from fossil fuels. Well, I've been working in this area for a long time. And a couple of years ago, I felt the time had come probably to try to bring all the issues together, and so I put them all in a book which was published last year called Stopping Climate Change: Policies for Real Zero. And we go through in the book all the various things that we need to do to reduce emissions from industry. For example, perhaps using hydrogen to create steel instead of coking coal. For transport, we can already see that a lot of people now own electric vehicles, so they're using electricity instead of petrol and diesel. From our homes, and most of us still use fossil methane gas to heat our homes, but there is an alternative, heat pumps, which run on electricity. And increasingly, the electricity in a country like the UK is produced by wind and solar power and nuclear energy, which don't emit carbon emissions. So they are effectively zero carbon. I look at the economics and the costs and have come to the conclusion that actually it's eminently affordable. We need to invest now, and we need the policies from governments that will encourage the financial sector to invest because they'll make a return. And in that way, I'm absolutely certain we can get to zero greenhouse gas emissions in 2050, but not without significant policy change. What I hope will happen is, firstly, in the education sphere, that all students, no matter what their discipline is, will be taught about the basics of how we keep our planet habitable. So that's what sustainability is all about. And I'm pleased to say that UCL is moving very strongly and firmly in that direction. Obviously, there will be some students who then become the leaders of the future in this area. Whatever field they're in, they will need to move their organizations and the governments they work for in that direction. We can make this change. The question is, will we want to do so enough in order actually to make it, given that an awful lot of people and an awful lot of organizations are going to have to make fundamental changes to the way they do things.